The film opens with a collapse of the American economy, leading to a sharp rise in crime. As a result, many criminals end up in privately run prisons. One such facility is Terminal Island Penitentiary, overseen by a woman named Claire Hennessey. At this prison, Hennessey hosts a violent competition known as the Death Race, where inmates battle for victory. She profits by streaming the brutal event online. During one race, a masked driver known as Frankenstein speeds toward the finish line with his Navigator, Case. She urges him to slow down to avoid gunfire from the rival Machine Gun Joe, but Frank refuses. Instead, he throws Case from the car before Joe blows up the vehicle, killing Frank instantly. Elsewhere, factory worker Jensen Ames is on the job as protests break out over low wages. When tensions escalate, a SWAT team is called in. Jensen helps a fallen co-worker but fights back when attacked by officers. Later, he returns home to his wife and baby daughter Piper. After a shower, he finds his wife murdered in the kitchen. A masked man appears and sprays something in Jensen's face, knocking him out. He wakes up holding a knife, surrounded by police. Arrested for his wife's murder, Jensen is sentenced to life in prison and Piper is placed in an orphanage. 6 months later, Jensen is transferred to Terminal Island Prison. Upon arrival, guards photograph him, spray him down, and escort him to a cell already occupied by another inmate. As soon as the guards leave, the cellmate attacks Jensen. When the guards return to check on them, they're surprised to find Jensen unharmed while the other inmate is visibly beaten. During lunch, one prisoner spits in Jensen's food and another inmate named Pachenko taunts him, accusing him of murdering his own wife. A fight breaks out, and although Jensen is outnumbered and knocked down, the guards step in and escort him to meet with Hennessey. There, Hennessey makes him an offer. She wants Jensen to assume the identity of Frankenstein, known as Frank, the masked racer who recently died. Since Frank already won 4 of the 5 races needed for release, Jensen would only need to win 1 more to earn his freedom. After some thought, Jensen agrees to take part. Hennessey introduces Jensen to the prison mechanics and Frank's former coach, then shows him the armored car he'll be driving in the race. Later, the coach takes Jensen to the yard to meet his upcoming rivals, Hector Grimm, known as the Grim Reaper, Master, a mentally unstable racer, 14K, a 10th generation member of a notorious mafia family, Pachenko, who has already killed 9 racers, and Travis Colt, the biggest star of the death race. Meanwhile, Joe confronts Jensen and his coach, vowing to finish off Frank in the next race. Joe wrongly believes Frank is still alive and recovering, unaware that Jensen is his replacement. On race day, Jensen dons Frank's signature mask and racing gear, walking through the prison halls. The inmates, thinking the legendary racer has returned, cheer and shout Frank's name from behind their cell bars. Before the race begins, Jensen meets his assigned navigator, Case. As the countdown ends, the cars launch forward at high speed. At first, Jensen struggles to control the vehicle, but with guidance from Case and his coach over the radio, he quickly adjusts and starts to compete effectively. Joe relentlessly targets Jensen's car throughout the race, determined to kill who he believes is Frank. In the death race, drivers can collect 3 types of weaponized features by driving over specific symbols on the track: a shield icon for defensive tools, a sword icon for offensive weapons, and a skull icon which triggers deadly traps like mines or mechanical hazards. Once Hennessey activates these features in the arena, chaos erupts as racers scramble to grab them and take out one another. Mid-race, a driver triggers a skull feature. Suddenly, a spike machine bursts from under the track and obliterates the racer's car in a fiery explosion. Oddly, some of the features Jensen drives over don't work on his vehicle, raising suspicion. Still, with smart tactics, he manages to destroy one of his opponents who was attacking him. As the race continues, Jensen finds himself side by side with Pachenko. Pachenko makes a distinct hand gesture, one Jensen instantly recognizes. It's the same gesture made by the man who murdered his wife. The realization rattles Jensen, and while he's momentarily distracted, Joe seizes the moment and slams into his car, forcing him to retreat to a nearby repair station on the edge of the trek. The death race is split into 3 stages. In the first 2 stages, racers only need to cross the finish line to advance. However, in the final stage, only the racer who finishes first is declared the winner. After Jensen's car is brought in for inspection, the technicians confirm that all of its features are functioning normally, but they soon discover something more troubling. Navigator Case had been secretly working under Hennessey's orders. Enraged, Jensen storms into Hennessey's office and confronts her. He declares he's done with the race and reveals that he now knows the truth. It was Hennessey who had Pachenko murder his wife, framing Jensen so she could force force him into the death race. Unfazed, Hennessey shows Jensen a photo of his infant daughter and threatens to kill her if he refuses to race. With no other choice, Jensen agrees to continue. Later, while working on his vehicle, Jensen sees Pachenko walking past the garage and decides to follow him. But it's a trap. Pachenko and his goons ambush him, tying a chain around his neck and torturing him. Just as Pachenko is about to strike the final blow, one of Frank's loyal technicians intervenes and hits Pachenko with a stun gun, knocking him out. Seizing the moment, Jensen fights back against the other attackers, but guards soon arrive and subdue him with a stun gun. When the second stage of the race begins, Jensen acts coldly toward Case and questions whether she was involved in Frank's death. At first, she denies everything, but under pressure and a threat from Jensen, she admits that Hennessey forced her to sabotage Frank's car in the previous race and order her to do the same to Jensen. Realizing she was just another pawn, Jensen decides to move forward with the race. This time, he races aggressively, targeting Joe and Pachenko. He successfully overtakes Pachenko and activates the sword symbol, unlocking his weapons. Spinning his car around to face Pachenko head-on, he unleashes a barrage of gunfire, causing Pachenko to lose control and slam into a wall. He stops, steps out of his car, and walks over to Pachenko's wreck. In full view of Hennessey's surveillance cameras, he drags Pachenko's body out and without hesitation breaks his neck, killing the man who murdered his wife. Angered by his bold actions, Hennessey orders the release of her most lethal weapon, the Dreadnought, a heavily modified armored tanker truck built to annihilate all racers. As the Dreadnought enters the arena, panic spreads among participants. One by one, cars are destroyed under a relentless onslaught of gunfire. But bullets aren't its only weapon. Rotating drills protrude from the sides of the truck, tearing through nearby cars and instantly killing both drivers and their navigators. The massacre gets worse when a racer is blown up by a cannon, turning his car into a fireball. Soon the Dreadnought has taken out almost everyone. Only Jensen and Joe are left. Seeing how dangerous it is, Jensen radios Joe and suggests they team up to destroy the Dreadnought. They agree and drive together over a skull icon on the track, triggering a trap. Moments later, the Dreadnought rolls over the same symbol, triggering a massive iron spike that bursts from the track and pierces the armored truck. The Dreadnought crashes and flips, finally destroyed. The brutal second stage ends. Worried Jensen might win, Hennessey orders a guard to secretly plant a bomb under his car. As she gives a speech to the inmates, the guard carries out her orders. Later, Jensen's coach shows him race footage and points out a hidden escape route behind a camouflage wall. Jensen shares the plan with Joe, offering a chance for both of them to escape. The day before the final race, Hennessey visits Jensen and hands him a fake release letter, promising freedom if he wins. In truth, she never plans to let him live. The final stage begins. Only Jensen and Joe are left. As Case joins him in the car, she notices new upgrades. Jensen explains the car has been rebuilt. Case, now done following Hennessey's orders, vows to help him win. The race kicks off at night under bright lights. Jensen and Joe speed onto the track, but Hennessey has rigged the race. She activates all weapons for Joe, leaving Jensen defenseless, hoping Joe will finish him off. Joe opens fire on Jensen nonstop, but when his rocket system activates, he does the unexpected. He blasts the fence around the track instead of Jensen, creating a way out. Hennessey, realizing her plan has failed, panics. She orders the guards to capture them and tries to detonate the bomb under Jensen's car, only to discover it's been safely removed by his coach and crew. Desperate, she sends helicopters and armed forces to stop them. As Jensen and Joe head for the bridge, they're surrounded. Case then suggests a decoy plan. She puts on Frank's mask and takes the wheel, while Jensen quietly slips out of the car. Jensen reunites with Joe, and together they speed toward a passing train, leaping aboard just in time. Meanwhile, authorities capture the car, thinking they've rearrested Frankenstein. The media hails Hennessey as a hero, unaware it's actually Case behind the mask. Back in her office, Hennessey celebrates with champagne and opens a gift box, only to find the bomb meant for Jensen. The light turns green, and the bomb explodes, killing her and her staff. The one behind it, Jensen's coach, taking revenge for her corruption and cruelty. 6 months later, Jensen and Joe are living free, having opened an auto repair shop in Miami. One afternoon, a car speeds into their garage, and it's Case, now released from prison. Reunited at last, the three began a new life, leaving the brutal world of the death race behind. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.